Hello! Getting ready to head out on the Continental Divide Trail for a day hike. Doing 5 miles today. Gonna head north from the Highway 59 trailhead. There is, I forgot to show it, where is it? I don't know if, yeah, I can't see very well. Back there behind me somewhere, there is a cache of water. There's like 5 or 6 gallons of it for through hikers. So that's really cool. Somebody's still putting stuff out there. I don't know how many people are still hiking through here, but there must be still be people doing it. I've been following one lady who's doing the red line. So I saw her video where she came through here. And there was water when she came through. So it's really cool. There are still people hiking this section. But man, it looks rough though, because there's a lot that's not maintained. Can't see the trail or anything, so I feel sorry for them, but it's cool that people are doing it. I was thinking to myself, when I got there and I saw that there was water, I was like, I really got to try to remind myself next year, maybe put a reminder on my phone or something to help out with that. I was thinking maybe I'll download the Far Out app for the New Mexico section next year, so I can see like when people are starting to hike the red line, and maybe I'll remember to help out with bringing water up. And then I started thinking, well, maybe if I'm in a better position at work where I have more time off like I'm wanting, maybe I could just put myself out there as being available for rides for people who hike to this trailhead and need a ride into Winston, or maybe even into TRC if they want to go that far. And I was like, who am I? I went from like, I don't ever want to be around people, to like, oh, maybe I'll offer people rides. I go on one hike where I chat with a few people, and now all of a sudden I'm this social hiker. But I don't know. Be something to think about. It'd be a cool way to get involved with the trail community before I'm actually able to go do any hiking on my own or through hiking. So yeah, we'll see. Alright, I'm about half a mile in and feeling good so far. I bought breakfast in town and was gonna eat it on my way out, but I never really felt hungry, so I just packed it in my backpack, and now immediately I'm like hungry. So I think I'm gonna wait until I hit a mile and then I'll stop and take a breakfast break. But it's really nice out here this morning. I actually managed to get out earlier than I normally do, about an hour and a half earlier. So it's pretty nice. It's supposed to be partly cloudy today, and there's a little bit of clouds, not much. But I should be done before it gets too warm today. Alright, I just hit a mile So I was going to try to find a stump or a log to sit on, and then I saw this tree here right next to the trail, and I said, screw it, I'm just going to sit next to the tree, or under the tree. I'm not as hungry as I was when my hunger first popped up. And I'm feeling like super energetic right now. So I'm almost a little bummed that I'm stopping this early in, but I do need to eat something. So I figure I brought, what is this? Chicken bacon ranch wrap and some strawberries and pineapple that I picked up at the gas station on my way. So I'm just going to eat like half the wrap and maybe half the fruit. And then go on my way again. But yeah, it's so funny. I was thinking, like, I almost canceled this hike because this was my shark week, and it was a bad one, and I was really, really struggling this whole week, just mentally and physically. And 2 days ago, I was like, I'm not going hiking this week. I'm skipping it. I'm too tired. I need to rest. I need to be at home. And I was like, it's going to be hot because it was supposed to be in the 90s today. And then yesterday morning, I woke up and I was like, I woke up really early. I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and couldn't go back to bed. But I felt better. Even though I still wasn't getting as much sleep as I needed, I felt better. I felt a little bit better mentally. I still had sort of ups and downs with my emotions yesterday. But I felt better mentally, and I didn't feel as tired, even though I still wasn't getting as much sleep as I needed. And then I checked the weather, and it had dropped it down to high of 88 for today. And I was like, well, and I know, like, I knew I was planning on coming here, and this part of the mountains, for some reason, is cooler than the other part of the mountains that I hike. I don't know why, because they're about at the same elevation, but I swear it's always cooler here than it is over there. I haven't figured out why. I think because there's more trees here. The other place that I hike is a burn scar, so I think that's why. I mean, it's been burnt up here too, but just not as bad. And so I don't know. But anyway, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and hike. I know I need to have a day at home. I have a lot of cleaning that I need to do and stuff, but I think it'll, like, do me good mentally to go on a hike. So I decided to go ahead, and I got at her, like I said, much earlier than I normally do. So it's still pretty cool. It was in the high 60s when I got here. And I just, like, I've been walking in this past mile. I've just been like, man, I feel amazing. Like, I feel so energetic. I feel like I'm in a better headspace than I've been. So I don't know. I think I'm on that, like, post-period high, I guess. But it's so funny. It's like, this is why I'm always like, I can't make plans, because it just changes day to day how I feel, and what I'm capable of doing. So anyway. One of the cool things that I've noticed about getting out here earlier is I've actually seen a little bit of wildlife. Because I remember the last time I hiked this trail, I didn't see any wildlife at all. Now, some of the wildlife that I saw was on the way up here on the drive, but I saw a big herd of deer, like a big herd. And then stepping on the trail, I had a bird fly out at me. It was at the bottom of a tree for some reason. I don't know what it was doing. And I saw a squirrel. And I hear birds. I can hear them chirping and stuff. So that's kind of cool. All right. Feeling refreshed, hydrated. So we will carry on with the hike. A little bit of views up here. It's kind of hard to see through the trees, but a little bit of views. It's kind of hard to make out, but way off in the distance over there, you can kind of see that there's some rock formations over there, and I've never noticed them before. I don't know if I just wasn't looking up on this part of the trail, but I'm wondering if I'll get a better view of them eventually. Look, that looks like an arrow in the road. Since it's facing the wrong direction, it's telling me to go back. That's wild. Okay, I've just walked past where the GPS, the last time I was out here, where the GPS said I was at 2 miles. And I was like, oh, it's not saying anything. I wonder if me filming messed it up. And so I looked at the app and it says I'm at 1.86 miles. And this is the same app that I've been using, so my GPS is definitely screwed up, but you know, I said I'm just gonna go with it, whatever it says. So I'm just gonna assume I'm at 1.86 right now. But I'm at the spot where it said 2 miles last time, and I'm about to go up a hill here behind me. So I'm gonna get out of breath, so I'm not gonna film. But once I get up there, I'll film what's at the top of the hill, because I know last time I hiked this, I was like, oh, I want to see what's at the top of that hill. So I'll make sure and show it. Okay, so 2 things. First of all, it was a bigger hill than I realized. Once I got to what I thought was the top, he kept going. I was like, okay. But the second thing is, once I saw it, like the whole thing, I realized I have been up here before. Years ago. Like, I don't even remember how long ago it was. So they are loud. I think they're pissed off that I'm here. But yeah, it was years ago. But I remember that hill because I remember wanting to see if there was a view at the top. And so I pushed myself to get up to the top. And then turned around when I got up here. So once I go forward a little bit, I'll be further than I've been before. But I'll turn the camera around and show there's not much of a view. A little bit, not much. Okay, so here's looking to the right of the trail. And you can kind of see through the trees there in the distance. There's a building. But this is probably the best view, because over on the left side of the trail, or the west side of the trail, there's no view. It's just trees, and there's a hill over there with more trees, so can't see any mountains in the distance. This is looking back down south. So just gonna continue on until my GPS says I'm at 2.5 miles. Okay. This is as far as I went. I promise this time. I recognize this tree. I stopped at this tree and filmed a video. So it wasn't years ago. It was like 2 years ago. Oh my goodness. My memory's going. I'm turning 50 in 2 days, so it is what it is. But yes, this is officially as far as I've gone, and my GPS just told me I was at 2 miles. So that's why I didn't recognize any of the trees down there, because last time I was here and it told me I was at 2 miles, I was like, I don't see that tree that I stopped at. And I was like, oh, look at that tree over there. I thought, oh, I must be misremembering it or something. Nope, my GPS was wrong last time. That's okay. Onwards. Half a mile more. And then I can turn around. So I'm still following this dirt road, but it's kind of changing over here. I don't know if it's just the color of the dirt is making it look different, or if it's actually kind of narrowing a bit. But this is actually kind of a cool little spot here. There's all kinds of embedded rock on this part of the road. More embedded rock. I'm trying to imagine how anyone can even drive on this road. Also, I keep seeing these rock piles on the side. Well, this one's not really a pile. It's just kind of scattered rocks. But I've seen some others that look kind of more like a pile, but not quite like a cairn. So I don't know if they're like remnants of cairns that have just been like knocked over, or if they're just like rocks that have been dug out of the road and just kind of tossed to the side. But it's like the third one I've seen. Alright, I just hit 2.5 miles. So that's the path ahead of me, which I will see next time I'm here, I'm sure. Still not much of a view. Just a little bit through the trees there. But that's okay. This has actually been a really cool section of the hike. Like, I really, really enjoyed this little walk here. Yeah, so, alright, I gotta get back in my positive headspace. I just made the mistake of reading a text from my boss, and now I'm annoyed. I'm like, no. Texting is like the worst thing. Like, why did we ever come up with that? I think, actually, that just gave me a good idea. I think on my next hike, I'm gonna put my do not disturb on. Like, I have my phone on silent, so I don't hear notifications, but if I see that I have a text message, I'll still read it. And yeah, so I think I'm going to try to remember that for next hike. Just put the do not disturb on. So hopefully I won't even see that I have text messages. I think that's how that works. Actually, I'm not really sure if that's how that works. Anyway, alright. So I'm going to head back. I'm not stopping for a break just yet. I don't really feel like I need one. This is a really easy trail, honestly. I think that's why I always feel so good on it and energetic. It's just a really easy trail. There's not a lot of elevation gain on it. There's some short climbs, but just not much. So I feel pretty good right now. So I think I'll probably stop when I finish my water and get my other bottle out and maybe throw some electrolytes in it, because it is starting to get warm, especially if the wind's not blowing. So I'll definitely be taking lots of little shade breaks on the way back to the car. Look at this little guy right next to the trail. I was looking for a place that I could sit down in some shade. And I saw that, I was like, "Ooh, don't sit there." I think I might sit under this tree right here. Alright, I'm sitting here taking my break. I'm at 3.5 miles, so just another 1.5 miles back to the car. And, you know, part of me really wanted to just keep walking. Don't stop. But I think I need to make myself stop sometimes. It's always hard for me when I'm on the way back to the car to stop. I just want to go until I get to the car. I'm like, I can take a break at the car. But it is important for me to stop. I needed to put those electrolytes in my water anyway, because I am definitely starting to sweat. It's getting warm. There's more clouds in the sky than there were, but it's not enough to block the sun, so. But I actually wanted to talk a little bit on this one about some thoughts I had last night while I was meditating, which I know that's not the point of meditating. But whatever. Sometimes when I'm meditating, stuff comes up that I want to think about. I kind of follow the thoughts for a while because they're helping me. If they're not helpful thoughts, then I just let them float by. But this was actually helping me last night. So I said earlier, I've been in a kind of a rough place this week. Just kind of struggling mentally and physically, and I've been, super irritable about work still, even though, since my work rant video, things have gotten better. I'm not working as many hours as I was, but I'm still working more than I want to be. And so I've just had a lot of frustration around that this week. And especially like, you know, being on my period and having such a heavy period and having to be at work through it just always puts me in a rotten mood, because it just pisses me off that I can't just take time off during that time and deal with it. And I don't know, just been in a really pissy mood all week long, and especially about work. And, you know, I've said before, a lot of my irritation just comes from the fact that, number one, I don't get the schedule that I want. I want to work 4 days a week and have 3 days off. That's what I want. 4 days, 3 days, work 4, have 3 days off. I don't care if they're all in a row or not. I just want to have 3 days off. That's what I want right now. It's what I desire. I had it for once for a short time. And then for a while there, I was getting 4 days off, which was a little too much. But I can't seem to get back to having 3 days off, which is what I really want. And then there's my irritation around, you know, having these extra responsibilities so that even when I have a day off, like, I still end up having to go in for a short period of time. And I don't know, I just get really irritated about that sometimes too. So, so last night, I went to temple and we do a 1 hour silent meditation once a week there, and a Buddhist temple. And yeah, my thoughts turned to that, and I started thinking about, I kind of started doing a thought experiment. I was like, okay, let's say you wake up, and I've actually done this thought experiment before, and I've kind of, honestly, I've had these same realizations before, but whatever. I always have to talk about it afterwards, because I need these reminders to myself for when I get into those darker places. I need to remind myself of this. So this is nothing new, not a new revelation, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. So I do this thought experiment where I say, okay, let's say you wake up one day and you have $1 million dropped into your bank account. What do you do? And I take it very seriously, you know. I really dig deep into it and really, you know, try to be realistic and everything, and think about my current life situation. And, you know, because it's easy to say, oh, well, I'd go buy a house in Mexico and or something, you know. But no, realistically, what would happen? And I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, I'd probably, you know, I pay off a couple of things. I only have a couple of debts, but, and they're not much, but probably just go ahead and pay those off. That way I have that extra money. I don't have to spend as much. And then I think about it, and I'm like, you know, what are my goals in life? What are my dreams? Well, I want to go on hiking adventures, whether it's through hiking or just maybe just traveling to new places to go hiking. You know, I think about spending some time just living out of my car, just going on trips and going to different states and hiking in different places that I haven't hiked before and stuff like that. And then also you know, moto camping. I'm really interested. I'd like to get a bigger scooter and go on moto camping trips. And the same thing, you know, go to parks and stuff with hiking trails and camp and hike, and you know, and that's the kind of stuff that I want to do. Those are my dreams. You know, I don't have lofty goals. I don't want to go on cruises. I don't want to go. I mean, I really don't even care about traveling to other countries. I guess it'd be cool, but that's not even really a goal of mine. You know, I just want to go on these little adventures and go hiking and see new places. And I'm fine just doing it in the States because it's a big country and there's a lot of places to go. So, but that's it. That's all I want. And so then I think, okay, well, could I do that now? If I had $1 million, would I be able to just start doing that? And the answer is no. No, I can't right now. I have my cats that I need to be there for and take care of. They're both, getting old, and one in particular is very clingy. So I wouldn't want to leave her for a long period of time. So, I would maybe be okay with doing overnight, maybe a couple nights, even 3 away, but any more than that, then probably not. But yeah, and I've got them. And then the other thing is that, I'm still having really bad periods. I'm still just in perimenopause. I haven't hit menopause yet, and I'm still having monthly periods, and they suck. Make sure I'm still alone. They suck, and I don't want to be traveling or trying to go on hiking trips and stuff and dealing with that. So I want to wait until I'm in menopause, or at least that they're far enough apart that it's not as big of an issue. So, no, right now I wouldn't be able to go do that stuff. So then I was like, well, so would you quit? And it's like, well, what would be the point? I guess I could quit, and I guess I could go do day hikes every day or something. But it's like, what would be the point if I still have to be where I'm at? I can't go anywhere. Then, why not? Why not keep working, make a little extra money to put aside, and hang on to that $1 million, so that when I am able to go do those things, I still have it. I don't blow through it, So I was like, okay, so what's the problem? What can we do to try to make things better for the situation that I'm in right now? And one of those is getting to the point that I can take 3 days off, which there is a possibility that can happen pretty soon. I know that there's some hiring that might be taking place, hopefully in the next few weeks, that might help with that. And then it's just a matter of just trying to keep that as my goal, when I am hiring, to think about that when I'm hiring people and making sure that they are able to, work the schedule that I need them to work so that I can have the schedule that I want. And then as far as the responsibilities, I can have other people do this. It's not like I'm the only person who can do them. And that's I don't know if I was thinking about that. I was like, is that I don't want to be a burden on people and make them do this job that technically is kind of mine, even though not really. Am I trying to not be a burden to other people? Am I trying to, is it some sort of ego thing where I'm trying to be well, I'm the only one who can do that? And if that's the case, I definitely need to let that go. Or is it me feeling like I'm shirking my responsibilities if I don't do it? And I'm not exactly sure what it is. I don't think it's the second one. I don't think it's my ego. I'm leaning more towards the feeling like I'm shirking my responsibilities. If I don't do it, then I'm not being responsible. But the fact of the matter is that it's not my responsibilities. It's anybody's responsibilities. Anybody can do, well, not anybody, but there are other people who can do these things, so it doesn't have to be me. So I need to work on letting go of that and just being okay, if I need to be off, really off, today, I'm doing that today. I decided I wanted to go out hike early. I don't want to go into work, so I asked other people to do the things that I'm supposed to do today, and they'll do them, or they won't. And if they don't, then that's on them. It's not me. So yeah. So I think I'm in a better place. I just have to remind myself of that. It's it's okay. The job is not bad. It's not a bad job. I just get frustrated over some things, but they are things that are within my control to fix. So, it's up to me to do the things that I need to do. Yeah. So anyway, I just want to get that off my chest and hopefully try to remember that in the future for when I start feeling the way I was feeling this week. Everything's fine. I have a good life. I need to stop being so complainy all the time. Alright, get back on the trail and finish up this hike. Alright, now we're starting to get some big fluffy clouds. If they block out the sun for me, the last part of this hike is going to be really nice. Alright, I got just under half a mile to go. And I'm finally starting to get some intermittent cloud coverage from the sun. So, kind of nice, finally. It was definitely getting warm. I wouldn't mind if they wanted to drop a few raindrops on me. But somehow I don't think that's going to happen. Oh my God. How did I not notice this before? And I wonder how long it's been here. Like, has it been here like every time I come out here and I've never noticed it? Damn. Sorry about your luck, whatever you were. I wonder if that's a deer, maybe. Speaking of deer. I can't tell if they're showing up or not. Where'd you go? Did they leave? Are they gone already? Okay, well, there were deer up there. Don't know if I got them on camera or not. I hope this wasn't one of your friends over here. Sorry if it was. Best part of a trail is when you can spot your car. It's not going to show up on camera. It's too far in the distance. But it's over there. I see it. I always have a little bit of anxiety, like right before I spot it, of like, oh my God, what if it's not there? But it's there. Almost back. Well, I am back. Whew. That's the first time that I've ever gotten to hear my GPS tracker say 5 miles. Usually I get back and it's like 4.6, 4.7, 4.8. Today it says 5 miles. So that last half mile was really nice. Having the shade, it really helped to cool me down because it was definitely getting warm out. So this was my 4th 5-mile hike. So I've got one more 5-mile hike to do. And at this point, I'm not making plans for when I'm going to do them. I do know where I want to go. But I'm pretty much just watching the weather. When I got a day off coming up, I start watching the weather, see what the temps are going to be. And if it's hot, then I'm not going to hike. So I might not be doing, as many hikes throughout the summer. Apparently we have some super El Nino coming. That's going to make it like crazy hot this summer. So I don't know. I already think it's always crazy hot. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle if it's even hotter than it normally is, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, so it is what it is. If I have to slow down on my hikes for a while, that's fine. I'm going to try to replace hikes with scooter rides when I can, because I definitely want to get more practice getting out on the scooter. Eventually, I want to do bike to hike rides where I take the scooter out to a hiking trail and go on a hike. So someday I hope to do that. But I got to get a lot more practice on a scooter and just feel more comfortable being out on it by myself, because I tend to ride with a friend most of the time. I don't really like to go by myself, but I'm going to work on getting more comfortable with that. So the other thing is I have slacked off on my at-home workouts. When I was working all those extra hours, I started slacking off, and then when my period came, I was not doing anything, so I'm very much behind on that, so I got to pick that up, and especially if I'm going to be cutting back on the hiking, I definitely need to be doing that. So that's my plan sometime over the next 4 days. I don't know exactly when. I have to work that out in my head, or I guess just see, like, I need to sit at home and like make a plan for when I can do it, because I just, with work and other commitments, trying to make sure that I put in the time for that, but while still allowing myself to rest, because I need rest. Like, I definitely feel like I need rest. I'm exhausted from like the past 30 years. I'm just exhausted. So I have to work in time for rest as well. Um but yeah, I'm feeling good. I was thinking on the last little leg of this hike, I was like, man, I feel like 5 to 6 is going to be a big jump for me. I feel like going from 5 miles to 6 mile hikes is that's going to be a tough one for me, I feel, but maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I might just be getting in my head about it. Weirdly enough, though, I'm thinking that like as I go further along in this, that it might get easier to do the jumps, because I'll be going on longer, or not longer, but on more hikes at the higher miles as I keep doing this. So I feel like it will get easier eventually, but I feel like going from 5 mile to 6 mile hikes is going to be hard. And I don't know at this point where my first 6 mile hike is going to be. Probably back here, honestly. I'll probably make it an easy one, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. All right. Well, it's nice to be getting out of here a little bit earlier. Let me see what time it is. It's almost 1. So usually I'm getting back to my car around like between like 2:30 and 3. So yeah, this is going to be so much nicer, because I'll get home around 2:30. I can maybe rest for a couple hours, maybe even try to take a nap, and then do some chores tonight. So yeah, I like this. I like getting out earlier. Got to make that more of a habit. All right, so thanks for watching. Bye bye.